Let me talk to you for a minute, not as some motivational speaker, not as a celebrity voice, but as someone who's been broken, tested, and rebuilt by faith. Because sometimes what we really need is not another excuse to wait, but a reason to move. You see, there's a war going on inside each of us. A war between who we are and who we could be, between standing still in comfort or stepping forward in calling. And the truth is, the longer you wait, the further your destiny drifts. You keep telling yourself, I'll start when it's the right time, but my friend, the right time is now. God did not bring you this far just to have you sit on your gifts. He didn't plant that fire inside you to let it smolder in silence. If He woke you up this morning, it's because there's still work for you to do. There's still ground for you to cover, still chains for you to break, still lives that only your voice, your talent, your movement can touch. But none of that can happen if you're standing still, staring at the clock, waiting for some magical sign. You are the sign. Your desire to grow, that is the divine spark. You see, the enemy doesn't always show up as something terrifying. Sometimes it looks like procrastination, like fear wearing a friendly face, like comfort disguised as peace. But deep inside, your soul knows when it's time to rise. You can feel it, that restlessness, that urge to become more, to stretch, to move. That's not anxiety. That's destiny calling. So I want you to lean in today, because we're not just going to talk. We're going to shift something. We're going to break the chains that have been holding you back. And by the end of this message, you'll realize one powerful truth. You don't need to wait anymore. You just need to move. Every dream that lives inside of you is waiting on one thing: action. Not talk, not hope, not even talent, but movement. You can have the biggest vision in the world, but if you don't take that first step, it'll stay locked up in your imagination like a bird with clipped wings. People spend their lives waiting for the perfect moment, thinking it's just around the corner, but there is no perfect moment. There's only right now. And right now is powerful because it's real, it's present, it's the only time you can control. You see, too many of us are held hostage by fear. We're afraid of failing, afraid of judgment, afraid of not being enough. So we stand still trying to calculate every risk, waiting for certainty that never comes. But life doesn't reward hesitation, it rewards courage. It rewards the person who steps out even when they don't have it all figured out. The world opens doors for those who knock, not for those who just stare at the door, hoping it opens by itself. That first move doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be loud, it just has to be intentional. A single step can start the avalanche of transformation. When you move, you activate faith. You tell the universe you're ready. You tell your fear it doesn't control you. You tell your future self, I'm coming and I won't be late. And in that moment, something shifts, something stirs, and suddenly you're no longer stuck. You're in motion, and motion is power. Nobody ever changed their life by waiting. You've got to stop overthinking and start executing. You've got to trust that the same God who gave you the vision will guide your steps if you just dare to take them. Stop asking for permission to become who you already are deep down inside, because greatness isn't given, it's claimed through action. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be, and it's built with small decisions made daily, even when nobody's watching. It's easy to be motivated when the fire's hot and the applause is loud, but what about the days when it's quiet, when it's cold, when you feel alone and tired? That's where discipline steps in, not as a feeling, but as a decision. You have to show up for yourself even when the world isn't clapping, because that's how champions are made. Too many people wait for inspiration like it's a lightning strike, but discipline is the generator that powers your journey regardless of the weather. You don't get to your dreams by working only when you feel good. You get there by showing up, especially when you don't. Discipline is waking up early when the bed is warm and the grind is cold. It's turning off distractions and locking in on what matters. It's making the call, doing the reps, reading the pages again and again until growth becomes your second nature. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you invest in your future self. You tell your mind who's really in charge. You train your body, your soul, and your habits to obey a higher purpose. And as you keep choosing discipline day after day, something changes inside you. You get stronger, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally. You start to believe in yourself, not because of hype, but because of evidence. You've seen what happens when you stay consistent, and that belief becomes your armor. Discipline doesn't make life easier, it makes you tougher and more equipped to handle the pressure, the setbacks, and the storms. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. If you can be faithful in the small things, you'll be trusted with the big ones. You've got to live like your destiny depends on your decisions, because it does. Fear is the silent killer of dreams. It whispers doubts in your ear. It magnifies your insecurities and convinces you to stay where it's safe, where it's comfortable. But comfort is a cage, and fear is the lock holding you back from the greatness that's waiting for you on the other side. You weren't created to live small, to hide behind what ifs and worst case scenarios. You were built with courage in your bones and faith in your soul. And that fear you feel, that pressure in your chest, is not a sign to stop. It's a signal that you're on the edge of something big. The problem is we let fear pretend it's wisdom when really it's just insecurity in disguise. Fear will give you 1,000 reasons not to move, but faith needs just one reason to try. The ones who win in life are not the ones who never felt fear. They're the ones who felt it and moved anyway. They walked into the unknown with their knees shaking, their hearts pounding, but their eyes locked on purpose. That's how you grow. That's how you take back control from fear, one bold step at a time. If fear controls your decisions, it will shape your life, and you'll end up living a version of your story that was never meant for you. Don't let fear write your future. Every time you choose to act in spite of fear, you weaken its grip. Every step you take into the uncomfortable makes you stronger, more focused, more resilient. You start to see that fear is a liar and courage is a choice. And once you realize that, the fear loses its power over you. Fear feeds on delay. It grows in the silence between decision and action. The longer you wait, the louder it gets. That's why you have to move before you feel ready, speak before you feel confident, step before the road is clear. You have to train your spirit to answer fear, not with retreat, but with resolve, because your future, your breakthrough, your legacy, it's all waiting on the other side of fear. You don't need all the answers to take the first step. You just need enough faith to move your foot. Too many people are waiting for perfect conditions for everything to align before they move, but life doesn't reward those who wait, it rewards those who act. You've been given a vision, a dream, a pull deep inside your heart, not so you could sit on it and wait for the stars to align, but so you could start building, even in the dark, even in uncertainty, even when it's uncomfortable. Action creates clarity, movement creates momentum, and the more you move, the more the path becomes visible. If you sit still, waiting for a sign, waiting for permission, you might miss the very moment that could change your life. Sometimes God doesn't show you the whole staircase because He wants you to trust Him with the first step. The blessing isn't always in knowing, it's in doing, it's in moving, it's in trusting that even if you stumble forward, you're still making progress. When you move with faith, you invite purpose to meet you in motion. You start learning by doing. You grow stronger by stretching. You find your voice by speaking. Progress doesn't come from planning forever. It comes from doing something today that your future self will thank you for. The world doesn't need your perfect plan. It needs your present effort, your willingness to begin, your courage to show up, even when things feel messy and incomplete. Don't let overthinking become a substitute for action. Don't let the fear of failure keep you from trying. Every great journey started with one imperfect step forward. Every masterpiece started with one stroke. Every breakthrough started with one decision to begin. What matters most isn't that you know it all, it's that you trust enough to move anyway. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. It is the quiet force that moves you when motivation runs dry, the unwavering commitment to keep going when feelings fade. A lot of people wait to feel like doing the work, but discipline says, do it anyway. You don't build a strong life by chasing moments of inspiration. You build it by doing the necessary work, especially on the days you don't feel like it. Every time you show up when it's hard, you're building something inside of you that can't be shaken. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Success doesn't come from grand gestures, it comes from the little choices you make every single day. Getting up early when you want to sleep in, saying no to distractions, staying focused on the goal even when your emotions pull you away. That's where greatness is built. Discipline isn't punishment, it's freedom. It's the freedom to create the life you truly want instead of the life that just happens. When you train your mind and body to obey purpose instead of comfort, you become unstoppable. You stop being a slave to circumstances and start becoming the master of your own path. There's power in making a commitment to yourself and keeping it no matter what. It's easy to blame circumstances or other people for what's not working in your life, but real power comes when you take full responsibility and choose to show up every day regardless of how you feel. That's how you build confidence. That's how you gain trust in yourself. When you become a person of discipline, you don't just chase greatness, you become it from the inside out. Faith is the fuel that keeps you moving forward even when the road is dark and the destination seems out of reach. It's not about having all the answers or seeing the whole picture. It's about trusting that each step you take will lead somewhere greater. Faith isn't weak or passive. It's the strongest force you can carry because it holds you up when everything else falls down. It tells you that even though you've fallen before, you can rise again, stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. When you have faith, you stop needing validation from others. You stop seeking permission to believe in yourself. You no longer wait for the perfect sign or the right time. You move because something deep inside of you says go. That's the power of faith. It pushes you to act when logic says wait. It whispers keep going when the world says quit. It reminds you that the vision in your heart isn't random. It's divine. Faith doesn't mean the path will be easy. It means the purpose is greater than the pain. It means that when storms come, and they will, you'll keep standing because you believe in something bigger than what you can see. You believe in growth, in redemption, in the idea that struggle can be the soil where strength is born. Faith gives you eyes that see beyond your current situation into a future that's waiting to be claimed. Every great dream, every breakthrough, every transformation began with someone choosing to believe before they had proof. They moved in faith, they spoke in faith, they lived in faith. And in doing so, they turned the invisible into reality. If you want to live a life that matters, you've got to carry faith like a fire in your chest and let it light the way through every trial and triumph. As we wrap up today's speech, remember that the power to move forward lies within you. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or for everything to line up just right. It's about trusting yourself, trusting the process, and believing that you have what it takes to rise above any challenge. You are the one who shapes your future, not circumstances or anyone else. Take control, stay disciplined, act in faith, and never let fear or doubt stop you from reaching your full potential. The only thing standing between where you are now and where you want to be is your willingness to act. So stop waiting, start moving, and watch your life transform. Thank you for listening, for being present, and for choosing to take this moment seriously. Remember, it's not the destination that defines us, but the journey. Keep moving forward, keep believing in yourself, and never stop striving for greatness. Thank you, and God bless you all.